Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learned this truth from and well. Peace, salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the one-third, the large multitude. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. And the title for this was going to be America is collapsing and will not bounce back. You have all these Americans, these Babylonians, 2/3 of our people, that believe that somehow America could bounce back, from its crumbling economy. It's $36 trillion in debt. It can somehow make peace with all these nations that is stirring up, the war, the conflict. And pretty much they have that mindset that Babylon is going to be healed. But no, this place is crumbling, is collapsing right in front of our eyes, from the inflation. You got eggs. A dozen of eggs is anywhere between $5 for the cheap stuff to 10 to $20, for decent eggs. So that's letting you know what way that this economy is going. And once the economy collapses, completely, because it's collapsing right now, you constantly have rent going up, the price of groceries, electricity bill, your Wi-Fi, your internet bill, and all sorts of manners of payments here in Babylon the Great is getting to the point where these Americans aren't able to afford their bills. And what is that going to lead to? It's going to lead to the collapse of the dollar, and ultimately the digital currency being established, which is going to lead to the charagma, to the MOTB, to the Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, which majority of these Babylonians, including 2/3 of the nation of Israel, that comprised of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, ultimately are going to go down to Egypt for help, because there's going to be famines, there's going to be pestilences, plagues, and Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is going to offer a solution, and that solution is going to be that charagma, to so-called bring back normality to a collapsing country. But what this devil Esau, Edom, and the rest of these other Israelite camps and these churches, what they're not telling you, that this place is going to be destroyed by the way of fire. It doesn't matter how many band-aids you put on an open wound that's bleeding out. It's not going to heal it, because ultimately this place is going to be destroyed because its wickedness has reached up to the heavens. So the only solution for this place is for it to be utterly wasted by the way of those thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's the only way that this place, that's going to be the only remedy for this place, is that fire, is that second death, because this place has reached the height of its wickedness. And ultimately, Yahweh Shem Shai is going to have to put a stop onto it. And we're seeing America collapse with all these layoffs, AI taking over jobs, the morals of these people are low. You got YNs running around. You got the so-called black women, Eve, aborting their children every single day. And pretty much this place, it's at his lowest point. It's always been a low, the valley of shadow of death, but now it's just at its point where it's just reached, that wickedness that it's reached up to the heavens. So I'm gonna get the scripture. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And that's what's gonna suddenly happen to this place, America, which is the modern day Babylon, Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon. We see it collapsing right in front of our eyes, and it's evident But what they're counting on is that for this somehow for this place to miraculously bounce back, and what these Americans, these Babylonians were counting on, they were counting on Nero, Donald Trump, to somehow bring back this dying economy. But no, he's only making it worse. He's stirring up conflict with all these different countries. He's imposing tariffs. He's raising up, the price on goods by the way of all these different tariffs he's putting on all these goods, and ultimately he's only making matters worse. He's doing the complete opposite of healing Babylon, healing America. This is verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So Yahweh Shai is not going to heal this place. Ultimately, he's going to destroy it by the way of fire through those ICBMs. When the World War III begins, that's going to be the climax. Is America being destroyed by the way of fire, because this place has reached its peak of wickedness. So Yahweh Shai is going to have to put a stop to it. He's going to have to send Yahweh Shai back to deliver his elect from this harsh captivity that we're under this devil Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. And get this next one. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. The Lord Yahweh Shai hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And that modern day Egypt, that Egypt is going to be America, Babylon the Great, because ultimately we're seeing every matter, every manner, of way of life here collapsing. From the jobs to the music industry. The music has gotten worse. To the morals on these people. They're pretty much waxing cold. Like it says in I Matthew, I think chapter 24. Because the iniquity have abounded, the love of many have waxed cold, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing these people, get worse by the day, losing hope that this place is going to bounce back, but somehow they still have that small glimpse of hope that this place is somehow going to bounce back, but it's not. This is verse 15, Isaiah 19 and 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail branch rush may do. So ultimately, once this place collapses, it's not going to be able to bounce back. And we're seeing that collapse happening right in front of us. We're seeing all these mass layoffs. I think Donald Trump laid off like 200,000 IRS, agents. So that's letting you know that AI is starting to take a lot of these jobs, and what's gonna leave, what work is gonna be left for these Americans to do? There's not gonna be any work left. So what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are gonna offer is that universal basic income, which is going to lead a lot of Americans to take that Caragua, because there's not going to be any work for them to do. So the only solution is for the government to offer them a basic income monthly. But the only way to receive that basic income is by the way of taking that Caragua, that MOTB, that micro CHIP. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the grinders, they're starting to cease. We're seeing the mass layoffs all over these jobs. From doctors, lawyers, tech workers, because ultimately it's all being taken by AI. And once this digital currency system, this new system, can't say the word, once Esau Edom gets it up and running, pretty much all these jobs are going to be done away with. There's not going to be any work left for America, for Babylon the Great. And the only way to somehow still be able to sustain yourself is by taking that charagma, the MOTB. And that's why majority of these Americans, they're looking out their windows. And so, and pretty much what that is going into is that they don't have any optimism, left for this place, because ultimately they're seeing that this place is collapsing. So that hope, that small hope that they have, is slowly starting to fade away. Verse 4, Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing all these businesses shut down left and right. All these shops and bars and clubs and downtown and throughout, the country, throughout the U.S., because ultimately these places are going out of business because people are getting laid off. The prices of goods, of services are rising. So ultimately people can't afford, to go out and so-called have fun, because ultimately they barely have enough just to pay their bills. So what money is there left, to so-called spend, to have fun? There is none. And the music being brought low, that's going into this music industry being trashed. Pretty much all the music that we hear today, it's all degeneracy, pushing that degenerate agenda to keep our people in a low vibration. Sexy Red, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion. That's all degenerate music. Which ultimately the one who's behind it is this devil Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. Let me get this next one. This is Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, great confusion. And that's what these Americans, these Babylonians, that's what they're thinking and have in their mind, is that, just because they can still go out and afford groceries, that they're in a good stance. Their rent is still, somewhat affordable, not really, but they can still pay their rent, that they're in good case. But what they're not counting on is for that hyperinflation, this place collapsing. It's all with just one black swan event from everything going to shit, and that's what they're not counting on. They think because they can still go to McDonald's and get 40, 40 nuggets for $5 that they're in good case. But no, that's all a snare in the trap that ultimately is going to have them get caught like a thief in the night. But us, in this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and this truth, we know that the day of the Lord is going to come like a thief in the night, when these Babylonians, these Americans, we suspect it, because right now they're hoping that this place is going to somehow bounce back, but it's not. It's going to be destroyed by the way of fire. But first, it's going to be slowly being plagued by these different famines, wars, pestilences. you know, Pretty much is going to be taken like Egypt, with strip, plague after plague after plague. Then that final plague is going to be the thermonuclear ballistic missiles to just put that nail in the coffin on this place. But that's pretty much the point. I pray this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Shem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, following this true firm and well. Peace. I tasted 144,000, and the rest of the 130.